Depression, it's a word we've all heard, and most of us have felt its weight. It's not just a temporary feeling of sadness, but a deep, overwhelming sense of hopelessness, often with no clear explanation. Why is it that so many people, successful people, smart people, capable people, find themselves struggle with this feeling? Why is it that even when we have everything we need, we sometimes feel like we have nothing? In this video, we're going to explore the reasons why so many people suffer from depression, and more importantly, how we can take control of our lives and free ourselves from this mental and emotional burden. The wisdom we'll share today comes from one of the greatest thinkers of our time, Jim Rohn. His teachings on personal responsibility, mindset, and emotional strength are more relevant today than ever before. The world we live in, overload and stress. We live in a time unlike any other in history. The constant barrage of information through social media, 24-hour news cycles, and technological advancements creates an environment where we are always on. There's always something to check, always something to do, always someone who needs us. We're more connected than ever before, yet many of us feel more disconnected from ourselves than ever. In the past, people would take a break. They'd sit on their front porch, take a walk in the park, or just enjoy some quiet time. Today, we're always reachable, always expected to perform, and we've lost our rest and reflection. And when we fail to rest both mentally and physically, the result is often burnout, anxiety, and eventually depression. Jim Rohn once said, "You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight." If you want to free yourself from the suffocating grip of mental overload, you must start by changing your direction. This means putting down the distractions, setting boundaries, and committing to taking care of your mind and body first. The pressure to be perfect. One of the most insidious reasons why people fall into depression is the pressure to be perfect. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need to have the perfect career, the perfect relationship, the perfect home, and the perfect life. Social media, advertising, and even the people around us contribute to this illusion of perfection. But here's the thing, perfection is a lie. Jim Rohn used to talk about the pursuit of excellence, not perfection. Excellence is something we strive for in our daily actions, in how we treat others, and in how we live our lives. But perfection is a fleeting illusion. It's a standard that's always just out of reach. And when we try to attain it, we often find ourselves feeling exhausted and inadequate. The pressure to be perfect can cause us to lose sight of our own worth. We forget that we are enough just as we are. Jim Rohn's teachings remind us that success is not about having it all figured out. It's about progress and growth. Instead of trying to be perfect, aim for progress. Focus on becoming better each day rather than striving for an unattainable standard. Lack of purpose and meaning. One of the root causes of depression is a lack of purpose. People who feel disconnected from their true calling or who live lives without meaning often find themselves struggling with feelings of hopelessness. When we don't know why we're doing what we're doing, we lose motivation. Life becomes a series of tasks to get through, rather than a journey to embrace. Jim Rohn often emphasized the importance of having a clear vision and purpose in life. He would say, "The major key to your better future is you." This simple truth holds the key to overcoming depression. You are the one who gets to choose your path. You are the one who gets to create meaning and purpose in your life. It's not something that happens by accident, and it's not something that will come from external circumstances. It comes from within. Finding purpose begins with knowing yourself. It begins with asking, what am I passionate about? What makes me come alive? When you start to ask yourself these questions and take small actions towards finding your purpose, depression loses its grip. Another major factor contributing to depression is the belief that our happiness is dependent on external validation. We live in a world where likes, comments, and followers are often seen as signs of success and self-worth. But Jim Rohn would tell us that self-worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. He once said, "Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better." The truth is, external validation is a fleeting source of happiness. It doesn't last. What really matters is how you see yourself and how you value your own growth and progress. When you begin to validate yourself, when you set your own standards and hold yourself accountable, the need for validation from others starts to fade away. It's important to remember that everyone's journey is different. Stop comparing yourself to others and start comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday. Growth is personal, and it happens when you focus on your own development, not on the approval of others. The struggle of limiting beliefs. One of the biggest obstacles to personal growth, and one of the major causes of depression, is the presence of limiting beliefs. These are the thoughts and beliefs that tell us we're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to succeed. They're the voices that say, "You'll never make it," or "This is too hard for you." These beliefs are often rooted in past experiences, fears, or societal conditioning, and they can hold us back from achieving our true potential. Jim Rohn was a master at challenging limiting beliefs. He would say, "The only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment." When you break free from your limiting beliefs and allow yourself to dream bigger, to aim higher, and take risks, you begin to open up a world of possibilities. Your mindset determines your success, and when you change your thinking, you change your life. The power of discipline and consistency. Depression often comes from feeling overwhelmed by the unpredictability of life. The uncertainty can make us feel powerless and stuck. But one of the most powerful tools to combat depression is discipline. Jim Rohn often said, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment." It's easy to get caught up in emotions and uncertainty, but discipline gives us the structure to keep moving forward, even when we don't feel like it. When we build habits of discipline, whether it's waking up early, setting clear goals, or practicing gratitude every day, we begin to take control of our lives again. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard, even when we're tired, stressed, or unsure of the outcome. Discipline brings order to the chaos and helps us maintain focus. even when depression tries to cloud our vision. Another powerful tool in overcoming depression is gratitude. Depression often makes us focus on what we don't have, what's going wrong, and what we've lost. But when we practice gratitude, we shift our focus to what's going right, what we've gained, and what we still have. Jim Rohn was a firm believer in the transformative power of gratitude. He said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others." When we take time each day to reflect on the things we're grateful for, whether it's our health, our relationships, or the small victories we experience, we begin to see the world through a different lens. Gratitude doesn't just make us feel better in the moment. It rewires our brain to focus on abundance, not scarcity. Taking responsibility, the key to change. One of the most profound teachings of Jim Rohn is the idea of taking full responsibility for your life. He often said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This means that our environment, our choices, and our actions directly impact the quality of our lives. When we take responsibility for our thoughts, our actions, and our outcomes, we reclaim our power. We stop blaming others, stop making excuses, and stop feeling like victims of circumstance. Instead, we take control of our mental, emotional, and physical state. Conclusion: rising above depression. Depression is a powerful force, but it is not invincible. When we adopt a mindset of personal responsibility, discipline, and gratitude, we begin to take back control of our lives. We realize that our circumstances do not define us. We are the authors of our own stories. Jim Rohn's teachings remind us that we are capable of much more than we think. By taking small steps each day, by focusing on our growth and development, and by embracing our full potential, we can rise above depression and create a life filled with meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Remember, the journey may not be easy, but it is in the struggle where we find our true strength. Take responsibility for your life and take action today. The life you want is waiting for you, and you are the one who can make it happen.